Oh. Traducere in Romana, Junaline, and Dara. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome, hello, say hi, say ho. We are still receiving people in our free Zoom. And I want to welcome you and say, and to this fun and interactive Lies of Relationships.
Yeah.
Valentine's special with myself and my husband, Roberto Moussi.
No.
Say hi,
Thank
say ho,
you.
Roberto.
Hi, and
And
thank you for hosting me. I'm very happy and glad to be with you and share the lies of relationship.
the lies of our relationship.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Let's start with that.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna just put, okay, I'm gonna spotlight us for everyone. Okay, so that we can see everybody. They can see us, all right? Okay,
Okay.
so it's very interesting, this topic, the lies of relationship.
Yeah.
The lies of
Are
relationships.
you lying at me?
Lying to you, not lying at you. I am lying at you, but
Ah,
I am lying at you. There's many ways that you can actually say the word lie in
okay.
English. To lie is to actually lie on bed. But
Mm.
what we're talking about is lies, is that actually, what is your judgments? What are those beliefs? What are those limiting beliefs that you are telling yourself or believing in yourself, or you bought, or kind of a story about relationships? What do you get, Roberto, when I invited you to talk about the lies of relationships? By the way, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Roberto Moussi, my co-host,
Yeah.
my co-pilot in life.
That's great.
Yes, we're
That's
co-pilots. We
yeah.
fly the same plane.
Okay. That's
Sometimes we
great.
crash.
We're heading towards the same direction.
Yes, yeah, that's
That's
good.
great.
We're heading
Yes.
towards the same direction. We're flying together.
Yeah.
Okay, Roberto, when I invited you to talk about this with me, the lies of relationships, what came to your mind?
It came to my mind how many point of views, because we're talking now about marriage, isn't it?
Not necessarily. It doesn't
Me and
have to
you, you
be.
said me and you, and Valentine. So all the point of views that we have about marriage and relationship between husband and a wife. So how many point of views we have about that? And every point of view and every point of view we have about this is kind of a limitation because we are acting from that point of view, from that perspective, and we're limiting ourselves in that sense. So if we get rid of all our point of view about what marriage is and what's supposed the relationship to be, how many freedom, how many space would we have in our life?
I am curious. Yeah. So I'm curious actually what everybody here, please your comment on the thread. What are the lies of relationships for you? What actually brought you to this Zoom? You know, what are the lies of relationship? Just say one word, or yeah. Just let us know what are those lies of relationships. Move your
No.
chair over, Roberto, so you don't fall over.
All? No. Let's hear from people. What are the lies of relationship? Or actually, your point of views about relationship, any kind of relationship. What are your point of view about it?
So that you will live heavily. You will live happily
Happily after.
ever after. Okay, when you marry,
Yes.
you mean like this is one of the part of the vows that we say in a marriage ceremony, or what a vow is like, to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Hiba says love conquers all. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And Punam says love, you are my priority. All right.
Yeah.
What else? What are love is more important than anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? What are the things that you believe in about actually relationships? I will never give you pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do everything for love.
I
Wow.
will do everything for you.
Or I will do everything for you.
So
In
I
relation.
would like to write these down. Wait.
Okay,
One
Roberto
second.
wants to write it down. Roberto, we have it actually on the chat. We can this is actually we get the script of this chat, Roberto.
Oh, I'm getting triggered.
He's getting triggered. He has to write them down. He has to work on his issues.
No.
Yes.
Error, you know.
People are coming in. They are coming to join our Valentine's party. We're just tuning into some people. Yeah.
So we said like priority, I'll make everything.
You are my priority. Love is more important than anything else. Love conquers all. You will live happily ever after. In relationship, we become one. Oh my God, this one is a good one. In relationship, we become one.
Okay.
I'll do everything for love. I'll never give you pain.
I will never give you pain.
We have to compromise.
We have to compromise.
Wow.
Okay.
Hi, Fatima from Mexico. Hello, everybody.
I'm
Another lie is find your other half.
find your other half.
Yeah, Diana, interesting, isn't it? All those make you uncomfortable. Love is a compromise. We had that before. Love is a compromise. Okay. What else is there? What are the other things that we believe in? We've been believing in. What about relationships? Love hurts. That's a song. Love hurts. I will always be there for you. Oh my God, that's another song, isn't it?
I
I will always love you.
Always be there for you.
I will always be there for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's so interesting how many lies actually we have about it.
And why do we call them lies, by the way? I think like they are nice concepts. I used to love them and enjoy them and stick myself with them.
You have to support your partner.
I have to support my partner.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is an interesting question Roberto posed. Why do we call them lies, actually? Why we consider them lies?
Because actually these are, I think they are nice. I make you my priority. I love you more than anything else. I will never give you pain. I will compromise for you. And what else? You are my other half. I will always support you. I will always be there for you. Isn't this what we tell each other when we get married and what we think of?
Somebody saying in Arabic?
There's a translation into Arabic.
Do we have a delayed translation into Arabic? We have a delayed, possibly. Yeah. So if Roberto, they're not lies, then why do you say that these are nice things?
Actually, I used to think they are nice things. And then when I got married and I was living by them, I started seeing them as limitations. That's why I call them lies. And we have these concepts or point of view, and we're not only applying them in our relationship in terms of marriage, actually we're applying them in all kinds of relationships. So if you have a friend, you think I will never hurt them, I will always make them a priority, I will compromise for them, and things like that. But how much when you make, for example, I will make you my priority.
Yeah.
And how much when I make her my priority, I stop being me, my own priority. So I start losing myself in the relationship in favor of her. And after a while, I like in this relationship, I don't exist. I'm always doing everything for her and nothing for me. So in that sense, it becomes a limitation. Interesting.
Is this what you felt, Roberto?
Yeah, at that point, yes, truly, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes. So after a while, like you see, like, oh, I'm not living my life. I'm living another person's life. I'm doing everything for my wife. So what if I restore everything, like back to the initial? I am a priority, and I'm choosing to be with her. It's not like I'm making her a priority and giving her all my energy. So I'm the priority of my own life, and I'm choosing to live with her. And let's create a partnership and be in a plane together, heading in the same direction. So actually, it's a partnership.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I also had this, everything that a lot of you wrote, this is what I believed in about relationships too. And we're talking about in this particular Zoom about, of course, romantic, intimate relationship, but it can apply to all relationships, like your friendships, actually your friendships, because what was the underlying thing around this, about this, is our expectations of what a relationship is. Diana saying that how many times we have lost our oneself while doing relationship.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly this. This is what happens. Whenever you say all of this that we were saying now, all these point of views, you lose yourself in the relationship. You won't exist. So how much we make the relationship more important than us? That's the question.
Yeah, how much how much is it like that we make it more important, we make it more significant? Fatima is saying one has to control the other.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was actually, I mean, before meeting Roberto, I
Go ahead. Go ahead.
cover your ears, Roberto.
Yeah.
Before meeting Roberto, I was actually a single woman looking for love for a long, long time. I had a very interesting point of view about intimate romantic relationships too, that for me, it was, or he was, someone that would be my soulmate and would complete me. Like as if, the idea of, I don't know if you know about it, twin flames or your other half, that you're not, that I wasn't complete, that I was always searching for someone to complete me, to make
You're not
me.
complete?
I wasn't.
Wow.
Maybe I was. I just made it that I wasn't complete. I did not know any better because of this point of view that I had about what it meant for me to have a kind of a relationship. Even with friendships, I always had this expectation of what a best friend should be, what the best friend should be doing for me. Actually, that's it. What somebody should be doing for you. Like that kind of expectation is what we have. It's about us. In a way, it's about us when we're talking about an expectation, because it's about what we expect. It's not about a choice where it's like this equal partnership or what can I give to you too. Even though we say that we make a relationship significant and making it important, it's actually my expectation of it makes it more about me than more about me related to that relationship. So I was looking for a lot of love in the what I called the wrong places, the wrong people. But in fact, for every person that I met or I dated or I went out with or became part of my life, I learned from all of that. And it wasn't until even just before I met Roberto that I decided that if I was going to that I was going to be okay for me, I started to cultivate the relationship for me at that time. And that's when I met my husband. Yeah. But I was sharing with you all of that. How many frogs that we learned from We Have a Kiss? Yeah, how many frogs were we needed? How many frogs do we need to prove that we can kiss our prince, right? Everything that brought, countless, Ehiba says, everything that brought up, let's destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, goodbye, parang pakol na siya, boys, poets, and you know that story, Roberto, right? A frog turns into a prince.
Yeah.
Are all women here in this Zoom? Are you all women? I think Bazi is there. There's a one man. Yeah. What's your point of view, Roberto? Roberto has a very different point of view about relationship. But again, we all came from this.
Actually, for me, relationship, it's not like the right word for me. Relationship, like you're doing something with another person in terms of relationship. For me, it's more about lowering your barriers and be connected with the other person. A relationship for me is still like there's two walls and you're making communication between like with the other person through that walls. So for me, it's more about being open and lower your barriers and be connected to the other person. This is what the invitation of being with another person. And then you build a partnership, and depends what kind of partnership you would like to have with the other person. It can be like a partner in life, like you get married, or it can be a friend, or it can partnership for business, something like that. Uh, for me, this is what relationship means really for me.
And the barriers that you're talking about, what could they be? Maybe some of the people here don't know what you mean by barriers.
Barriers mean walls. How much like we have walls around ourselves to protect ourselves, to protect our heart, whatever is. These are kind of walls we build.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I would say, how much we build these walls in relationship, we struggle because we make the other person a priority. So I have to do this for him. This I have. And how much this I have to, instead of building really something that's very loving between you and the other person, is hindering you and pushing you away from being really loving with the other person. Because when you always, I have, at one point you feel drained, like you're not being you, and like you are in a prison or a jail, and suddenly you start like you want to retract yourself from this relationship. So I notice when you make someone like, I won't hurt them, I won't do this, I won't do that, I have to do this, I have to do that, and all the kind, actually we think they are kind things that we need to do, like I make them my priority, I will never hurt them, I will be always there for them, like these are nice things. But actually I notice how much they stop us from being us and really in this relationship. For example, I will always be there because June is my wife. I would say like I always be there for her no matter what. And then I discovered another relationship where you have someone like your daughter and you'll say, I'll be there for her. And suddenly she's very mean and whatever is, and or whatever is, someone who's really mean for you, and you have this commitment, I will be always there for you. And you discover that you have sometimes you need to be tough and to kick that person out of your life, but you don't do it because you made this commitment, I will be always there for you. So how much like you cut off your power and your potency, like you stand up on your ground and say this and I want this, and then you protect yourself, and you don't do that because you said I will always be there for you. So this is one of the nice things that we keep telling ourselves with, and sometimes it's not really working for us.
It sounds nice, isn't it? Because like you said, it's like a lie of caring. It's like a lie of caring. If we care, it sounds like it's a caring thing for the others, for the other person, yet it doesn't mean caring for you.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I will never give you pain, for example, it was said here. And how much like you want to do something in your life and you stop yourself from doing it because you don't want to give pain for the other person. But how much this will become a limitation in your life, because I don't want to give her pain. I don't want to give anybody else in this world pain. And then how much I'm being limited by other people limitations because they not be able to accept or be with the things that I want to do. So I don't want to give her pain. So I limit myself and jail myself and I freeze myself and stop living my life because I don't want to give her pain. So what if I'm willing to be the invitation for something greater? Even if she feels pain, it's up to her to work and grow in a way that I can still do this thing without being her going into feeling painful.
What do you mean? You're not gonna take away my pain, Roberto? You're my husband.
I will be there for.
You're supposed to take away my pain and throw it
I'll
somewhere.
never give you pain. I will be the invitation. I'll point out things for you like, oh, June, I did it many times with her. Like, oh, June, I would like to do this, but if I do it, I know like you don't like it or whatever it is. So my invitation for you, let me be free. Let me be me. And it's not like I'm doing it to make you feel pain.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to live my life, and that's in my invitation for you. Please grow, expand, so you're able to be with this with total ease, and me live my life and be happy. Would you like wouldn't you like to see me happy?
Yeah. And actually, you know, in one of the things we talk about also in access consciousness, and we learn it, is like true caring is being in total allowance of what the other person is choosing, even if you don't like it. Yeah. Yeah, it applies to our intimate relationship. It applies to our friendships, to our family, parents, children. And it's every time I say that in like a foundation class, in any of these classes that I facilitate, it always gets people like, what do you mean? True, like it's not, I don't like what he's doing, or I don't like what she's doing, then I'm gonna be, you know, like I'm gonna be just like a doormat and let her do whatever she wants or he wants. But it's not that. It's not about, it's a different energy when you say, I'm gonna just let them whatever they want to do or whatever. It's actually like stepping back, looking at it from a bigger, wider perspective, and ask, you know, like if I truly care for this person, not it's a conditional love, okay? It's not unconditional love. If you love me, you're gonna do this for me. It's more like, okay, I care enough for this person to be in total allowance of what they would choose. There's something about,
Yeah, and that's true power in that case. When you are in total allowance of that, how much you need to grow and to become big and have this power and potency to allow the other person to be, no matter what, even sometimes he's doing something that it's not like the things that you're used to, or isn't it? So you'll be in total allowance of that. How much you need to be powerful and great to allow that to happen.
takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of work and a lot of, you know, self-realization and asking questions, and be willing to actually, the willingness, you know, sometimes we say we don't think, you know, we decided we cannot change it, we cannot do that. That's not how I would care and how I would love this person, or that's, you know, my husband will not do that or say that, or I cannot do this. You know, we already decided what we can and cannot, and what we will and we won't. It's like a presumptive reality, what it is. And Fatima is saying in the chat, how important are the elements of intimacy applied in a relationship? The elements of intimacy, for those of you who are new to this concept, is actually these 5 things, you know. It's trust, honor, allowance, vulnerability, and gratitude. And last night we actually were talking about that in the Right Body for You class. We you know, because these 5 elements of intimacy apply to everything, including your body, of course, and includes in your relationships with people. Punam says husbands avoid answering. Punam, is that true? I mean, husbands, are all husbands avoid, do all husbands avoid answering? Yeah, and everything that brought up for all of you who have decided that some people or most people avoid something and defend something, will you destroy and create that? Right and wrong, good and bad, parang pakal na Diyos, boys, poets, and beyonds. Avoiding and defending. Yeah. He was talking about blackmailing them to stay in a relationship. Blackmail to stay in a relationship. Wow, that's a big one. That's actually, that is a lie. You blackmail someone to stay in a relationship, that means actually you're not in allowance of what the person's choice is. Like there's no more caring, there's no more love in a relationship, yet you're still hanging on to that person. So you do everything, including blackmailing, to keep them in that relationship. How much of that is going to work for you? It's contributing to your life. It's actually living a lie of the relationship, isn't it?
She's giving an example. And how much when we do that, how much there's attachment we're doing in this relationship, and we get attached to a person and we want them in our life. And how much we need to be like self-sufficient and be in a relationship instead of being clingy and needy. How much we need like to be instead of being empty. And you said like I need someone in my life to feel complete, like we are already complete and fulfilled and being in that relationship, so we can radiate and be there with total ease and allow them to be, and I am being, instead of being clingy and building attachments.
Attachment. Why do we get attached? Actually, why do we create such energies of attachment? This is something that,
Like holding on into things, like a child will start holding on into things and afraid to lose them. And
yeah,
stuff like that. So what if you let go of everything and you're self-sufficient and you're already complete? How would your life be if you do that? How much freedom would you have in your life, in everything, in every area in your life, in every relationship, if you already feel like you're fulfilled and complete and you are just there, enjoying the moment? How would your life be? Instead of saying, I need that person in my life, I need this relationship, I need relationships.
need.
Yes. What if it's not true? What if this is a lie?
Actually, need is a lie.
Yeah. If you are infinite beings, you don't need anything.
Mic drop. Say what? If you're infinite beings, you don't need anything.
You just be. You are already complete, whole and complete.
So where do you think we get this idea or this point of view or this lie that about the need to have a relationship, to be in a relationship? Roberto, your point of view about it.
For me, my point of view, and I still have some of them, like we need relationship in our life to function, to create things. So we need relationships in that sense. And also there's neediness in me. I'm not whole, I'm not complete. So I need a relationship. I need to be with someone. If I'm not like with my other half, I'm not like having a fulfilled life
You're
and
just
things like
half.
that. Yeah, so
You are only
we
half,
still,
you're not whole.
we still have this point of views within us. And yes, and we are entangled by this. So what would it take for us to let go of all these point of view, all kind of point of views, no matter what, whatever it is, every kind of point of view? If you stick yourself with this, it starts controlling you and controlling your life. And you're giving your power to that point of view. So it starts controlling you.
You're giving that power to your point of view. I like that.
Yeah, so what if you get back your own power and see how much powerful you become in this relationship, in this life. So this life, instead of controlling you or any relationship controlling you, you start being the master of your life instead of everything mastering you. No, this is it. Actually, this is it. If you want to be the master of your own life, just cut back all your energy that you invested everywhere, giving the power to every point of view in your life. Just cut it back and see how much powerful you become.
How do we get back our point of views, our power? What are the ways that we can?
It's easy. Let go of adopting. Actually, you're adopting a point of view. When you say yes to a point of view, you're adopting it. So what if you stop adopting it? Thank you. I'm not adopting this point of view anymore. It's a choice.
It's an interesting point of view.
Yeah, so I stop adopting this point of view. Thank you. There's a twin flame somewhere there.
Twin flame,
Okay.
soulmate.
It might be there's something there. But anyway, instead
Someone.
of buying into it, like adopting it, and that's the only thing that exists in life, how much this idea will start controlling you and you start functioning from it? How much is that a limitation in your life? And how much you judge yourself because you're not living up to it or you don't have it yet in your life, and how much there's something missing in your life. So, but if you suddenly drop that idea, stop adopting it. It's easy. If you don't want this energy to control you, stop adopting it, adopting that point of view about it, and stop it. And suddenly it's just there. It's not controlling you anymore. Just Stop adopting your point of view about it. And suddenly it has no power over you. You can be aware of it, but it doesn't have a power over you.
Yeah. Being it's one of the ways that we can actually, it's just a choice. I know we talk about choices a lot, but this is actually when you can exercise your power to choose. It's a choice to take on this point of view or not. Is it still working for me? This point of view of someone out there is looking for me too, or someone out there I'm looking for, whatever. You find that you are in search of the one, or yeah, the one what? The one man, the one woman, the one friend, the one that will complete you. This is the lie of like mainstream media. The songs are all about romantic, you know, what is this song by Mariah Carey? I can't live if living is without you. You like that song, Roberto? But it's an interesting point of view. Listen to all those romantic songs. How many of them are actually doing drama and trauma about relationships? Especially the country songs. Yeah, and everything that is times a godzillion, let's destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds.
So for example, we say in a relationship, I always need to support my partner. So how do you live your life when you say, I always need to support my partner? And how much is that an imitation in a way, like I would say? It's just a point of view I took it. So how do you live your life? How would you be in that relationship when you say, I always need to support my partner? Don't you feel like there's this push? Just notice this push, because you lose your freedom. I have the push, like always do everything that I think she needs. I'm always supporting her, giving her my energy, giving her my energy, giving her my energy. And one day I said, I need to breathe. So what if suddenly I stop adopting this point of view that's always pushing me to do things? And suddenly I'm being in this relationship and looking at it. So instead of always being there to support her, and maybe I'm being too protective, I'm not allowing her to be in a way like, let her explore her life, let her grow so she can support herself. Anyway, so you do that. So now instead of having this push, this thought, this point of view that's controlling you, suddenly you stop adopting it and stop allowing it to control you. Now you are in the relationship and being in the question, what would create the most here? Maybe if I let her be, in a way, I let her start thinking how to support herself. Maybe she will grow and become more mature and more self-reliant. And you get what you want, actually. So that's what we mean. I mean, like the invitation is to let go of all your point of view, because whenever you give your energy to a point of view, it starts controlling your world and you become a slave for that idea. So if you get back your energy, you become very powerful, you become potent, and you'll be always in the question, and you'll be there and ask, what would create most in this relationship? Instead of always being pushed by that point of view, ask a question. I will stop adopting all the point of views that are controlling you on the situation and ask, what would create the most here?
So actually all the points of views that we were writing at the beginning, they, the lies, and they actually control us. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because they're pushing you into something or stopping you from doing something. So suddenly, if you stop adopting them, you can be there and make a choice. You can choose this something related to it or something else, but there's a choice. But when you have, I have to, you're living in one color world, and you're always, there's a fight between you and this, because you feel there's no freedom and that like you lost something. Even you're doing it, there's resistance. It's not really, you're not doing it completely out of joy and happiness. Like it's an obligation. And how much, who would like to do things? I love her because I'm obligated. She's my wife and I have to love her. What kind of love is that?
You have to love.
Yeah. Like in
It's
a
called
marriage, you will say,
it's called a have to love
yes, in a marriage, we would say, like, I would have to love her all my life, and will never,
until death do us
until
part.
death, I will never get separated. I always had this problem actually. And I noticed that, yeah, and I always had this problem with June. Like, I love her and I'm resisting her at the same time because I felt
Mm.
I will never be allowed to get a divorce, actually. That's what I mean. Like, oh, I have to stay with her all my life until I claim that power. Like, I have the power to change, to stop this relationship whenever I want to. So as soon as I claim that power and I can choose to be with her or not, now it's a choice to be with her every day, every second. I'm choosing to be with her because it's adding to my life. Otherwise, it was really hell living together, and like it's an obligation. I have to stay with her, and this is it. This is the end of the world. I cannot do anything else. So, it was miserable. It was a golden jail. That's what they say, golden jail.
Is it?
I-
Yeah. So it's what it like taking on a different, I guess, energy and point of view about it. The willingness. Just the energy of willingness changes your point of view about everything. You know, Gary Douglas says about the willingness, you don't have to act upon it, but the minute that you are willing, you acknowledge what is. There's no hiding about it. Like, you know, whatever you're not acknowledging, you cannot change it. So once you acknowledge it and be honest about what's not working for you, well, how can you change it? If so, how can you change it? Then actually that is changing. The willingness to change it. The
Yeah.
willingness actually is just a choice to be willing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about love out of marriage? Somebody's asking there. What about love out of marriage? I know we have all of those other situations about, you know, like arranged marriages, right? In many cultures in the world, and in some families, there is such thing as, you know, loveless marriages, basically, and they are just arranged. They're like contracts.
Is this what it means, love out of marriage?
Yeah. What about love out of marriage? Love,
You mean loving someone without marrying him, or
yeah, I
being
don't.
married and loving someone else?
Okay, so I'm just talking about something else now,
Okay.
about yeah, you're getting married without love or whatever, the loveless marriage. But I'm not exactly sure. Somebody asked a question about love out of marriage. So if you want to be more to clarify that, I would appreciate that. What about love out of marriage? Yeah. And actually, you know, the married loving someone else. So actually having an affair, kind of like that.
Actually, I would say, for me,
Yes.
my experience would say, never deny yourself anything. Whatever the energy is like there, just follow it. I noticed something in my life, really. And it's about this exact question about being romantic. I thought that I only need to be romantic with my wife. And how much really? And how much I limited myself whenever I am around women, just to be stoic and doing nothing and deny that romantic love. I'm not saying like I want to go and marry her or whatever it is, but when like you have this kindness and be like flirty, not really flirty, like being a little bit romantic, like this kind of, not no, like this kind of thing. I'm calling it romantic. How much like, oh, I'm being there and enjoying communicating with the other person, but June, this one I have chosen to be in my life with her. Okay. For me, I'm saying like being romantic. Yes, I allow myself. I don't have this point of view. I used to have this point of view. I only give my romantic love to my wife, June. What if we can give our romantic love to everybody, man, woman, whatever it is, and be that? This is an energy. It doesn't mean like I have to end up doing something with this energy, like the sexual energy too. I used to notice how much I contract with other people about sexual energy too. Like always, I'm with my wife. This energy should be like always directed towards my wife. So what if I can be sexual in every way with other people, and doesn't mean like I have to have sex with them, but I can be sexual in a way. I have this sexual energy.
And that's what we're talking about, the willingness, actually. The willingness is just an energy, because if we are not willing, or being in allowance and open about it, we deny that ourselves our power. We actually suppress it. And guess what? When that suppression happens, it starts building up. We become resentful, we become angry, and it shows up in many ways, in many aspects of our lives, our bodies, especially, in other relationships, especially with other people too. So what we'd like to invite you is actually being in total allowance and having this willingness. I guess it seems like that's the energy that's coming out of this Zoom is the willingness to acknowledge all the energies that come for you without making yourself wrong for it and without calling it without making it a limitation. And what if you step up into your power and know that you have a choice and to acknowledge? So everything that's secret and hidden and invisible and unseen, unsaid, acknowledge, I mean, it becomes kind of a distraction. It does not allow you to thrive. It does not allow you to thrive in a relationship too, right? So everything that does not allow you all to perceive, be, know, and receive thrival rather than survival as a being, as a loving being, who's choosing, not the chosen one, but the choosing one, will you destroy and uncreate? Valentinas and Valentinos, right and wrong, good and bad, parang pak, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of questions there actually about other things to extramarital affairs. And, I mean, we can go on and on about that. We can talk about that, endlessly. But today we just wanted to have this conversation to hopefully contribute and change some of the limiting beliefs that we have, or the lies that we have about relationships. And I would like to invite you to explore more about this in an upcoming 10-day detox from the lies of relationships. I am going on a detox this year, so
Really?
yeah, I detox from money lies, I detox from body lies,
And from all your relationships.
and next week I'm going to do a 10-day starting Monday, February 18th, or one of those dates. Yeah, a 10-day journey to detox from the lies of relationships. And in that, these are like 20-minute sessions on Telegram. And I invite you to come there and join me, because you can tell me all the other lies and we can work on that. We can actually bust all the lies. And is it now the time to bust all the lies? Yeah, and Fernanda just posted there the link. And by the way, for this class, for you only, because you are here on Zoom, within 24 hours, the 10-day sessions is only $59. Otherwise, after tomorrow, 24 hours later, it will be $69.
69. I like 69.
Yeah. Yes, if you choose to pay it 24 hours later, it's $69. But if you choose to attend it, register today in the 24 hours, it's only $59. And basically what you get is like 20-minute drops of detoxing and clearings, tools, and you're welcome to ask your questions there. I know so many people have message me privately about some things, but we can discuss that in our Telegram sessions, because it's more private. It's more of a community. So you are welcome to join me there. And it's on Telegram, not on Zoom. It's Telegram sessions. I go live every day, and you have the recordings, you have the audio and the live recordings. And yeah, and what else is possible there? I also want to share with you, because we've been talking about relationships. And for me, if you're interested in my personal journey about relationships, I wrote a book called Dating for Expats, the fab, hot, and single woman's search for love.
No, am I in that book?
Yeah, and I talk about Roberto in that book. And actually,
Okay.
I share some of the
Really?
tools that I use to change my situation from that loveless, lovelorn single woman of a long time, because I was a traveling nomad for a long time. It was so hard to be committed. And then when my life changed, using some of the tools of access consciousness and some of the tools of other things that I studied, I wrote a book about that. And it's a book, it's very easy read. It's on Kindle. It's on Amazon. Thank you, Fernanda. It's there. You can, read about it, and you can learn some of the tools that I use to change that situation. It's just fun. It's a fun, inspiring, filled with tools actually. So yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we are going on a date tonight. It's Valentine's. We reserve a spot in a restaurant nearby. You're welcome to come along. Maybe I'll put it in my Insta stories. But I would, yeah. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto Moussi.
You.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And so much fun, this conversation. And maybe, Roberto, you can join me again in some other conversation. Roberto is a life
My
coach as
pleasure.
well. He's my life coach, by the way. Did you guys know that? This is why I married him. I'm using it that way. I used him for that way because he was my coach.
I coached her very well. That's why we got married.
Say hi, say ho. Thank you, everybody. We will see you soon. Thank you, Fernanda. Thank you, Ale, for translating, and Mihaela for translating in Romanian. Sinem, thank you all. See you soon. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye.